Many of us are still shopping and buying Christmas gifts for our friends and family.
Yeah, we know so many people are living paycheck to paycheck right now, but if used responsibly, a credit card may not only give you some reward points, they're actually safer than using cash or like a payment app, especially if you're shopping online. Ted Rossman is the senior industry analyst for Bankrate. Good morning. Thanks so much for talking with us.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so, since so many people are living paycheck to paycheck, a lot of people may have said, I'm not using the credit cards, or they're trying not to use them. So they may be nervous about using credit cards this holiday season. Tell us why, in many cases, they can be better than cash.
Credit cards have better rewards programs than debit cards and cash, and they have better buyer protections. Everything from extended warranty coverage to purchase protection, better fraud protection, return protection. There are a lot of benefits. The one big drawback, as you noted, is that credit cards charge high interest rates. The average is 20.72%. That's a record high. A little over half of cardholders, though, pay in full every month. And for them, the interest rate doesn't really matter.
I'm surprised by a little more than half of cardholders pay in full every month. That is actually great.
Yeah, that seems like more than we would have thought. You're also saying that debit cards might also carry less risk, and I know a lot of people are getting more hesitant to use those. Why would that be a less risky option?
In terms of fraud protections and buyer protections, I still think credit cards are really the gold standard. Debit cards would be better than cash, though, just because if you lose cash, you're out. Whereas with a debit card, they do still have fraud protection. The key difference between a debit card and a credit card, at least in this sense, is with a debit card, it's real money missing from your checking account for anywhere from a few days to a few weeks. So I do think that credit cards are safer. But some people do like debit as an avoidance tool, a debt avoidance tool. So just realize that you do still have some fraud protections with the debit card. You just need to be vigilant about checking your statements because the window to report that fraud is shorter.
All right. We know this advice is not for everyone because of that 20% and plus higher interest that you mentioned. But if for some reason people cannot pay off the balance or if they have an existing balance, what do you recommend if it's really getting out of control?
If you have credit card debt, then I would say focus on paying it down. Don't worry about rewards. Don't worry about some of these extras like extended warranties. Those things are great, but they're not going to outweigh a 20 or 25 or 30% interest rate. So if you have credit card debt, no shame, a lot of people do, pay it down. My top tip there would be to get a 0% balance transfer card. You move your existing high-cost credit card debt to a new card that won't charge interest for up to 21 months in some cases. The Wells Fargo Reflect and the Citi Simplicity are a couple of good examples. That gives you almost 2 years to pay down the debt interest-free. That's a big tailwind.
Yeah, that absolutely is.
And you pay those cards off, and I've also heard that you don't want to close them because that could impact your credit score. But I mean, is there such a thing as having too many credit cards? When will it impact your credit score?
The average American has about 4. Now, I know some people who have 30 cards and they have great credit. I wouldn't try to get there overnight. For most people, 2, 3, 4 cards is a good number. You're right that canceling a card can negatively impact your credit score, mostly because it deletes some of your available credit, and it's better to have more credit and use less of it. So a bit of advice there would be ask for a product change. Ask the card company to switch you to one of their other cards, maybe one with a lower annual fee or a better rewards program that's more tailored to you. It often makes sense to keep old cards open. That said, if it really is getting unwieldy, maybe it does make sense to trim back a little bit, but for the most part, I would say leave it open, don't use it that much, pay on time. Those are the main rules of the road. Pay your bills on time and keep your debts low.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And let's not do the common sense. Obviously, stop spending money. If you can't pay off your current balance, stop buying. Make cookies for people for the holidays.
That's true. That's a good tip.
All right, Ted Rossman with Bankrate. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.